Today I just want to talk about understanding storms and jumping in different kinds of storms. And I want to use two examples from the Bible. Um, Paul, when he got shipwrecked, and Jonah in his shipwreck. Also, we can throw, we can throw Christ and the disciples in there and Peter in there when they were shipwrecked. We got three examples here. All right, three examples. And I'll give you an example of me myself. I was going through a storm. It was a judgment storm. I felt like I was being punished for disobedience. I didn't really feel like it was a test, though it was kind of a test, but it had some judgment in there. And anybody who tried to help me while I was going through that storm, I was like, nah, stay away. I didn't want those people to get caught up in that storm and they end up getting their head knocked off, or they lose their job, or their car you breaks down, because I guess it had certain things just happen. Everything that I needed, everything that I felt that was structured, that was sound, it was just falling apart on me. I had two cars, and then went to in a week, both cars are unfixable. Even though I'm slightly a mechanic, I couldn't fix neither of the cars. Had to get back on public transportation. Even somebody trying to offer me a ride, nah, because you miss around and you get into an accident. And that kind of brings me to Jonah. Jonah had a storm following him, and he ended up getting on the boat, and that storm ended up tossing his boat left and right, and da 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 da. They can't figure out what it is. They praying to all these different gods. Nobody's answering. Jonah knows the storm has to do with him. In Jonah 1, I think it's 112. Don't pray long. Jonah gets on that ship, and he tells them, "Hey man, you got to throw me off. Y'all need to throw me off the ship. Get it, Y'all can't be involved." And those people prayed about it, and didn't want. That was a final option for them. They didn't want to do it, but it was, it's your will. Don't have this innocent blood on us, but it's in your will. Hey, get this joker. And they threw Jonah in the ocean, in the sea, and the storm stopped. And that wasn't a storm that you wanted to be in. That's an example of like a judgment storm that you may not want to be jumping in. One of those Jonah storms. Stay away from that joker, and let him ride it out till he does what he's supposed to do, till he's right with the Most High. He's back on back on a path of light. Second storm we could go with you being with a strong man of God, you being with say your husband, but y'all going through a rocky time. The relationship going through a rocky time, bills kind of getting heavy, and before you flip out and go into the room and sit them down and, hey, what we gonna do? Man, we man, the mortgage ain't been paid. The bills coming. Like, he understands this. He knows this. And sometimes you may forget who you marry, and vice versa. This could be the man also with a strong woman of God. And you going in there and you forgetting that this is the man of God. God is gonna have these provisions for you. He will provide for you. You done been through worse storms. You've been brought through. You done forgot about the other times he done brought you out. Forgot about the other times he done made it when them bills got paid. And instead of you stressing him out, where it seems like he may seem like he don't care or she don't care about the situation, like they're ignoring it, but they just handling it different. Man, could be in his prayer closet, could be doing all kinds of things behind the scenes, But this other flips out, and this is what Peter does on the boat with Christ. He flips out. All right, man, it's a storm out here. Great, wake up. What you doing? Sleep. It's a storm out here. Get your butt up. Man, you just gonna die. And it's like, man, you think you gonna die here with me? It's the same thing, in that situation, the example that I gave. You think I'm just gonna let us be out here on the streets? You don't think I'm trying to do. And so when you're in a storm like that and you have a man of God, you have a protector that you're leaning on, that God has sent you to lean on. Hold on, let me get this camera back focused. May can't do it. All right. You had to ride that storm out with him. That's what you did. You for better or worse. You had to ride that storm out with him. Now the third example was with Paul. And he should have earned that. He should have earned that credit, that reverence. It's not something that's just given. It has to be earned. But third example, Paul, shit went down. Shit went all the way down. And sometimes you may have to go down with a man of God. Sometimes you may have to go down with a woman of God. Sometimes she may take you down. Sometimes he may take you down. All right. Sometimes the Most High will take y'all down. You know what I'm saying? For his glory. And it'll be for his glory just because, y'all are a couple of faith, or just because, y'all two brothers, or you're a brother and you're a couple of faith. You may have to go down with that brother. You may help that brother and y'all both sing. This kind of happens in the situation with Paul. But Paul initially told him, this is Acts 27. Paul initially told him, hey, man, don't even go out here, man. It's going to be dangerous. I can sense that it's going to be dangerous if you trying to make this voyage at this particular time. It's going to be dangerous to our health. They didn't listen. They trying to get him over to Caesar to get him to trial. They out there, and it's a storm. And they fight in this storm, and the storm ain't because of Paul. The storm's not necessarily because of Paul, but Paul actually receives an answer why he's in the midst of this storm. After several days fighting it, they throwing things off. They trying to get rid of things. They trying to do everything to stop this storm. But Paul actually receives a vision from an angel. Angel actually comes and says, you gonna go see Caesar. And this is part of Paul's mission too, man. He had to bear and go through many things for Christ's name's sake. He had to deal with heavy things, being stoned to death, shipwrecked several times, whipped, beatings, for Christ's name's sake. And he had to go see Caesar. And on his way, this voyage happens. But the angel tells him, you're going to go see Caesar. Don't worry about it. You will survive this. But also, too, everybody else will survive, but this ship going down. This ship is going down. So you can imagine Paul going back and telling them, hey, listen, it don't matter how you fighting this. And this is sometimes when you, bearing one another's burdens, sometimes it's just inevitable. Sometimes you're trying to fight a losing battle. The ship going down, but we all gonna survive. And somehow the Most High is going to receive glory. You know what I'm saying? All things work out for the glory. The Most High will receive glory from these things that we just went through. And as a body, as a family, these things may bring us closer together. These things may bring us closer together. That we went through that together. But rest assured we'll survive. And some of them swimmed, some of them, found planks of wood who couldn't swim when it broke in pieces. And that's what I'm saying. He made provisions for them, even in the midst of that storm, where they can ride that thing and come in on a plank of wood. And eventually, if I have time for this, we'll put this one in too. Well, we ain't gonna have time. I'm gonna just keep this video short. But he ends up coming in and he dealing with the barbarians and so forth. But them surviving, the people that witnessed those prisoners with Paul surviving, they already, when they seen them come in, it was like, oh man, these men are special. There's something special about these men. And it opened up a door for them to receive the gospel. But I yield with that, man. Just understanding the storm. Sometimes they have to go down with the storm. And I'll come back and maybe refine these points here. But it was 3 storms, 3 types of storms, 3 types of individuals. Recognize the storm and recognize the individuals. And some of them you're gonna have to ride with. Some of them you're gonna have to go down with the ship. And some of them you need to stay out of Dodge. Pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed.